Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we have the DriveCentric panel. And Ted, DriveCentric is innovating the ways that dealerships can have connected CRMs for sales and service.
You're so right, Sarah. It's a great honor to welcome the CEO of DriveCentric, Matt Leone. Matt, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Great. Thanks, Ted. It's great to be here.
So much happening in our industry right now. Sarah, you and I are witnessing it, and very honored to have you, Matt, and appreciate you being here. Want
My
to
honor.
talk to you a little bit today about some of the things that DriveCentric is doing and has coming as well, because it's very exciting. And Sarah, I know you've got some questions as well. So.
I do, Ted. And Matt, just to kick things off, for a long time, CRM in automotive has mostly been a sales tool. So why is it so important to extend that same system into service?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Sarah. And I don't think it's just in automotive. I think the CRM category, for whatever region, has been pigeonholed as a tool for a salesperson to put tasks and workflow on them to ensure they're doing their job, to follow up on leads, to prospect, and then a reporting layer to make sure that their managers are holding them accountable. And that's outside of auto or in auto, right? Salesforce, Microsoft, Siebel, all the tools that are out there. And then within the auto space, they all kind of pigeonholed it in this area, and they forgot the most important part of a CRM. It's in the title, the C, the customer. And the customer in the auto world lives in F&I, in the cashier's area, in parts, in sales and new and used. So why isn't fixed operations part of the equation of what a CRM should manage, which is there's leads, there's the customer, and everything needs to be centralized in a customer platform where you can identify who this customer is and not have a different experience in the front of the house or the back of the house. It makes no sense. So DriveCentric looks at it as it's a customer, and we're an engagement platform at the heart of where we always started. And so being an engagement platform, engaging with customers, we want that customer experience to be as rock solid as possible. And so we're going to connect as many departments within a dealership as possible in one unified process and system. And that's our primary goal of what a true CRM should be. And it's just evolving the category of the CRM and advancing it to being what it meant to be in the original going back in time days.
So, Matt, I guess what we're talking about here is moving the dealership forward with one unified system that allows us to engage with the customer without silos, one dealership, which is what the customer recognizes us as, not separate departments.
For sure, if you put yourself in the customer's shoes and you think about yourself as a customer, I go into an airline or a hotel and I check in. They're like, "Hey, Mr. Leone, thank you for being a platinum member. I know you like the king bed. Why isn't that experience the same when I walk into a dealership? Hey, I know you've serviced with me 16 times. You own 3 cars from me. Why can't I connect those dots? We should be able to. It's 2026, and so DriveCentric is very focused on engagement and in our world, in my sort of ideal world, and if I look outside of auto, there's a general ledger, an accounting system. Whether you're outside auto, it's SAP or Oracle or Microsoft. And then you have an engagement platform that wraps around it that focuses on the customer. And you have two fundamentally important platforms you run at your dealership. One that controls the financials and the books, the compliance, that's your general ledger. And another one that focuses purely on engagement. And we have to rethink the idea of a CRM is just for your sales team. It's not. It's to manage your customer. And if the customer and the engagement is the heart of what you're focused on, it's your sole focus, then you know your R&D dollars are going in the right area. And you know your R&D dollars and your product are focused on that customer experience. And that's really where DriveCentric is very focused right now.
Matt, I
Matt,
have a. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Ted.
Uh, just a follow up for myself. From what you just said, from an operational standpoint, what gets better when sales and service are working from one connected system?
Yeah, it goes back to the heart of that customer. The customer experience gets better, which leads to better retention, better loyalty, and higher gross profit because now you're getting repeat service. But the customer is number one key here. And if you can connect departments from sales to F&I to service, have a full closed loop process to be able to say this is a customer no matter where they're at. If they're issuing a payment in ROs or they're issuing a payment in a deposit, if they are coming in for a recall, they're coming in for a repair order, an oil change, or a tire, it doesn't matter. they're a customer. And so that gets better, which leads to better retention, which leads to better gross profit. It's also a great experience for your employees. Your employees like to have this data and visibility, one customer record, and not have to, maybe your service or your parts department is off site, off the lot. Maybe it's, a half a block away. I don't have the time to go talk to these people, but if I had a system, mobile system, my phone, my tablet, and I could see a unified customer record. Oh, they bought this car, they leased it. Hey, they came in for service last week, they were unhappy. I can pick that right up wherever it was in that journey. So now you have happier employees, you have happier customers, you have a better process, and because you have centralized data. And then what you can do with that, once I have that centralized data and full view of that customer, now I can empower some intelligence AI, and I could be able to kind of leverage AI in a much smarter, intelligent way than really anything a dealership has today, because I truly now have a fully complete view of that customer and have one voice talking to them, whether a human voice or an agentic voice. It can all be bundled together. So those are the three kind of things I see that are the benefits of connecting these two dots: better customer experience, happier, engaged employees, and smarter intelligence for powering the future of where I think the tech industry is headed.
Matt, I'm so glad that you brought the employee experience into the equation, because you're so right that fragmentation that happens when you have disconnected systems, that's a real a real struggle for employees when they're picking up the phone or they're texting and they're attempting to contact a customer, and let's say that phone number has been updated, or they had a bad experience or are currently having a bad experience, and they're frustrated, and another department isn't aware of what some of those communications to another department are. It just, from the customer standpoint, it seems like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. And so I'm curious, from the customer standpoint and what you've built with DriveCentric, what traditionally has been breaking when sales and service are disconnected, and how is DriveCentric solving those pain points?
Well, you introduced one other thing, which is, fragmentation is definitely the enemy. It's the enemy of all operational efficiency. And if you can eliminate fragmentation and that handoff, you do find the ability to connect a lot of dots: lifetime value of a customer, total gross profit of a customer, the ability to talk to a customer in their terms, because they don't look at a dealership in one lens. It's a dealership. They don't look at it as a parts department over here, a service department over here, a used car over here. They're just looking at it as, I'm a customer, you're a dealership, you might belong to a group, and I might associate you to the group or the dealership, but in the dealership, they look at it as separate P&Ls and separate departments, and thou shalt not talk to each other. And that causes frustration with the customer. That causes frustration with me as a consumer. I don't want that experience. And so to provide a full customer record, a full customer card, which, DriveCentric really pioneered this idea of a customer card and engagement platform. Everything's on there: every text, every email, every communication, every lead that's associated to that person and their entire thing. And then we summarize it and say, hey, if you don't want to read this lengthy customer card, here's a quick summary of who this person is and everything that's happened to them. Allows for a better customer experience, and then eliminates this sort of lost opportunity, which I call leakage between departments. And if for dealers are struggling with, gross profit right now, margin pressure, the two ways to fix gross profit and fix margin pressure are: eliminate the tech stack by consolidating around one singular customer record.
Okay.
And then the second thing is stop the leakage. And if you can stop the leakage by connecting systems, now you have the ability to really go after unique opportunities that might not have been visible to you before, and really drive better retention with those customers. And that's at the heart of what we're doing. Fragmentation, definitely the enemy.
Matt, I know a lot of folks in the audience who are very familiar with DriveCentric may be watching this today and say, whoa, here is DriveCentric on the Fixed Ops Roundtable talking about fixed
Yeah.
operations. We've known DriveCentric in the variable side of the business, but it seems you're putting it all together. Talk to us a little bit about that, because obviously all of this makes sense, and to treat the dealership as one.
I look at DriveCentric as four fundamental platforms
Okay.
consolidated into an engagement platform. So at the heart of it, if you think of an engagement platform, what does that make up? Well, at one end, It is traditional CRM. I got to be able to manage leads. The service advisor had leads. Somebody's looking to do a repair order, that's a lead. And if they don't complete the repair order, then you have an abandoned shopper or a follow up, which is also a lead. Just like new and used cars have leads that are flowing in, and maybe they didn't buy and I got to follow up with them, or it's a lease expiring, I got to follow up with them. And you know who else has leads? F&I managers. F&I managers are your huge profit center, and yet the same thing happens. There's a lead, I need to know about this, and then there's a bandit. I didn't buy it at the time. Why can't I connect if you are coming in for a tire repair and you didn't buy the tire coverage? That should be just something very rudimentary. And guess what? For years, DriveCentric has sat on this data. We have every DMS RO data real time connected through an API or connected certified. We have all the F&I data, meaning we know they bought an extended warranty or they bought something. We know their entire purchase history. Well, just connect it. We already have it on a centralized customer card, but allow the service advisor to log on to DriveCentric and see the same experience that a salesperson sees. Have it on a mobile device, have it be able to provide them our AI and our Genius products, have them be able to use our video and do a walk around and walk and talk to them. Put them in a live room, which is a native feature of ours, and say, hey, if you want to just talk to me in a live room, it's a private conversation. Hey, I need to exchange payment with you. We announced our partnership with Dealer Pay. Great, I can exchange payment information with you. It's all one connected platform already. We just want to be able to roll this out with, okay, when we get into fixed operations, it's a whole complex additional world. And so when we're rolling this out, what will happen day one, which is available, Service Engagement Hub, you basically log on, you're going to get the same lead management system that the sales team, I hope, has enjoyed and loved for the last 15 years. They're going to get all the same features: native ability to do video, native ability to do a live room, native ability to be able to kind of text and communicate and see it all in one central card. Same with the F&I manager. They should all be, if you're logging on and talking to a customer, you should be in DriveCentric. Now, as we expand into fixed operations, now you're starting to talk about multi-point inspections, you're starting to talk about parts departments, you're starting to talk about all sorts of other things that have to be expanded into. So what we look to say is, when we start this journey, it's going to be for the primary purpose of lead management and follow-up. That gives you customer loyalty, retention. It drives great things for your dealership and connects a lot of things in one unified card. Then we can, either through partners or through our native build, expand out all the other world that is out there in fixed operations that will likely have to be expanded out into. But we're super excited to be here with you today and also talking, not just variable, but fixed operations.
Man, this is very, very exciting. I have one more question, if you don't mind.
Please.
Why do you think this matters more for dealerships right now? Here we are in the middle of the second quarter, 2026, than it did even just a few years ago.
Sarah said something earlier: fragmentation's the enemy, and margin pressure is real. And I know dealerships are struggling with this idea of, it's an interesting time right now because you have fixed variable is a tough market right now. It's coming off of a year ago comps, and you're saying to yourself, MSRPs are incredibly high. I still don't have the right inventory mix. People are holding on to cars longer, so I'm not getting the used car inventory. It's more competitive at auctions to go get and secure those. Where am I going to close this gap? Well, it's in F&I, it's in fixed operations. And how do you drive a better fixed operations experience instead of allowing consumers to defect to an independent? You've got to focus on that customer sort of lead management process. And you've got to close the gap between sales into service and be able to say, hey, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this customer. Today we have fragmentation. I log on to this system in sales, yes, and I log on to that system in fixed operations. And this system in fixed operations is an operations tool. It's not even a customer facing tool. So it's like, now I've purposely separated these. Maybe it's structurally in your facility structured separately, but system-wise, you've caused chaos. Creating one platform to connect F&I service and fixed operations is where we're heading. It's because your dealerships are going to need to do this because customers are demanding it. As a consumer, I want this in my own personal life, right? If I go to my dealership and I'm expecting service, I'm not really expecting white glove super treatment. I just want you to know the basics. Don't let me put in my email 3 times. Don't let me not know who I am and I've been here 15 times. But what I would say is most important, and Sarah, you touched on this a minute ago, is not just fragmentation, but think about the dealerships in 2026 dealing with fraud, compliance, and issues. If I opted out, or if I have some sort of complaint on one department, and you as a dealership can't connect the dots, shame on you, dealership, right? Like, so we look at it as it also eliminates a lot of that concern, I think, that's bubbling up in the ecosystem right now about how do I deal with this opt in, opt out, compliance, fraud protection. Boy, if we can connect credit card payment through a secure portal, driver's license information through a secure portal, opt in and out, have that, understand if somebody moved or no longer owns that vehicle, all centralized in one customer card. Now you can start to feel much more comfortable with what you're doing and not deal with these fragmented systems with all doing their own thing with their own voice and data flying everywhere. So that's why now it's kind of really important for dealerships to stay focused on this.
Matt, it's so exciting to hear all of the innovation that DriveCentric is bringing to the marketplace. And for our dealer audience that's listening to this and thinking, my store, my group is ready for this level of communication, this level of hospitality as I approach my customers and our best practices. What's the best first step to get started?
It's a great question. I think there's an internal step and then an external step. Let me describe the internal step.
Okay.
When I sit down with a dealership, I truly understand their tech stack. What are all the systems you're using? I think understanding what all the systems are and what are you trying to eliminate and what do you want to try to keep. Tech consolidation is a step in this process. Like I mentioned before, in variable and in fixed, there's lots of cursory tools. Let me start with variable. I might have a chat tool, digital retailing tool, a website tool. I'm going to have a CRM tool. I'm going to have maybe an AI bolt-on. I'm going to have a telephony system. There's a plethora of tech that's in sales and marketing for new and used cars. And that's not to mention, I have my trade books, I have my appraisal tools. It's just a lot. Go over to fixed, it's even more, right? I have my inspection when I pull in, I have my tires, I have my parts, I have everything over here. What do I need to replace and what's staying? And understanding that and saying, okay, I've got my tech landscape figured out to explore what I want to do. And then you say to yourself, okay, what do I want to connect? And hopefully the answer is a customer and a customer card. And I want to be able to connect this unified customer card. Then you could start to say and raise your hand, hey, can I get a demo of DriveCentric? And say, here's what I'm looking for. Can you replace these items? And if you can't replace these items, can you partner or integrate with these companies? We've introduced our partner hub. I'm happy to integrate with any partner out there that's willing to integrate with DriveCentric and say, okay, this fits what I'm looking to do within my dealership because we can connect the customer card. The question is, can we connect to every one of your external and internal tools that need to make sure your operations runs clean? Because the last thing we want to do is cause operational issues within a dealership. We want to make sure the dealership experience is amazingly awesome. We just want to improve it. And so step one, internal, do your tech. Then step two, ask for a demo. And we'll walk you through, here's what it is, and look through your tech stack and see where we need to integrate or partner with to close any gaps.
Sarah, I think we're going to need to take Matt on the road with us.
Absolutely, Ted. Matt, it's exciting to hear all of these pieces. And again, it'll be great to have you in person to also talk with some of our dealers about all the success you're having.
Great. I'm looking forward to it. And, I'm looking forward to being with you guys on the road this summer and showcasing this live in stores because I know the market's been asking for this for a while. Can you connect my departments? Can you connect my customer? And I think DriveCentric, because we're known as the engagement platform, I think is going to be a real big, push this summer to be able to showcase this in production in stores with really good, solid results.
Everybody, DriveCentric is the engagement platform. Matt Leone, CEO of DriveCentric. Thank you so much for all you're doing for the industry. Welcome to Fixed Operations, and a great honor to have you and DriveCentric with us here today.
Thank you, Ted. My honor.
Everybody, visit DriveCentric on the web, drivecentric.com. Matt Leone from DriveCentric here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.